Hello. In this Canvas video, we are going to learn how to access Canvas using Launchpad, as well as look at some of the basic navigation and links in the Canvas program. First, to access Canvas, you will log into your BDS Launchpad and click on the Canvas app. If the app is not available on your Launchpad dashboard, please email tosa@bay.k12.fl.us to have it added. Once you click on the app, and from there you will be directed to your Canvas dashboard. As the Canvas dashboard appears, it will look very similar to what you see on the screen. Notice you have a left sidebar in blue. You have course code tiles or cards in the screens in the middle, and then on the right-hand side you will eventually have a to-do coming up recent feedback list. First, let's look in the middle. The tiles or courses that you see should be the same as you have on your focus schedules. Notice also at in the right-hand corner of each course code or tile, you'll have a gear. You can click on this and easily change the colors of each of these course tiles and also give them a nickname. Underneath each of the courses, icons will begin to appear as you add content and other activities to each course. For example, in the American History course, there has been an assignment added because the A with the paper underneath it indicates an assignment, and a discussion post has been added to that particular course. Notice under biology, there's an announcement, which is the speaker icon, an assignment, a discussion post, and some folders of files that has content included. These are just simply shortcut icons that help you access each of these different activities quickly. Remember, these icons will not appear until content has been added to each individual course. Once you have looked at your dashboard, you will also notice that each teacher should have what's called a sandbox. If you don't have a sandbox, once again, you can email tosa@bay.k12.fl.us to have that added. The sandbox is just a course where a teacher can easily explore, experiment, and play with all the different things they want to add before actually uploading it to a live course. We're going to now look over to the right, under the right-hand side, and you'll have a to-do. On my screen, you'll see that I have some things listed. That is because there are actual assignments, activities, and content that have been added to the course. Yours will probably be blank until content or other activities have been added. So for example, under to-do, students and teachers will see what's coming up, what has to be done, and any recent feedback. So it's just a running list of different assignments based on due dates. Let's now draw our attention over to the left side of the screen, our dashboard, in the blue. The left sidebar in blue has some basic navigation links, and we're going to just briefly go through each one. First, we're on the dashboard, but another way to access your courses is to simply click on the one that says courses, and then you can immediately see all the different courses that are associated with your account. The next tab says groups. If you are part of any groups that have been created, then this link will be available to you, and the names of the groups will be listed as well, and you can easily access your groups from there. Don't worry about if you don't see this link yet, because you may not be a part of any groups at the moment. You will not have the admin tab, so we'll skip that one for now. The next one is the calendar. When you click on the calendar within Canvas, you'll see that it looks very similar to a Google Calendar. Notice that on the right-hand side, you see all the different courses that are associated with your account that you teach, and they have colors associated with them. You can have them all checked, or you can uncheck different ones so that only those particular calendars are visible on the screen. You also have a way to easily change the months by toggling back and forth. So for example, on this calendar, on Wednesday, January 6th, there's been added an example quiz, and tomorrow there's an example assignment added. Let's say that you wanted to also add an assignment for the 8th All you have to do in order to add assignments or events to your calendar is to simply click on the date, and then you get a prompt box. Your two options are to create an event, which would be like a field trip or picture day or a particular activity that may be happening at the school or in your classroom. Or the other option is to click on is assignment. Here you can add an assignment in. So let's say you had a project in biology due. We said it was a cell project. And let's say it was due on January the 8th, which is Friday. If you needed to change that, you can click on the calendar to the right. And let's say I make sure I add it to the correct calendar. Notice there's a drop down for all of the ones that are highlighted with colors at the moment. This one's going to go to the biology course, so I'm going to click on biology. And notice that the color also changed because to the right, under calendars, biology is green in color, and therefore it has a strip to remind me I'm on the right calendar. Remember, just because you create an assignment in your calendar, until you publish this and add content to it, it is not available for students to work on. I can then submit, and now that assignment appears on the calendar. So let's say that I was planning and looking at my calendar, and I realized, unfortunately, that even though I added that on the 8th, that there's maybe going to be lots of students that are out due to other activities going on at the school, and I need to move that due date or that assignment to a different date. I can simply hold down and drag, and let's say now I'm going to move it to the 14th the following week. So now that assignment has changed its due date, and in a few minutes we'll see where in notifications, if students and teachers have set up their notifications, that immediately will let them know through Canvas to whatever notification method they have set up that that due date has now changed. Additionally, in the bottom right, if you wanted to at least connect your Google Calendar, you can copy the URL and you could do a calendar feed. Remember though, that just because you create an assignment, let's say on your Canvas calendar, it may show up in your Google, but you can't start from Google and expect dates and things to show up in Canvas. So that would be the different pieces of the calendar. A great place to get started with Canvas. Let's go back to the left on the blue sidebar. Now we're going to look at the inbox. The inbox is messages that have been composed and started within Canvas. So let's say, for example, I needed to compose a message to maybe certain students within a course. So I can select my course, let's say that biology course. And on the calendar there was a test that was given, and let's say perhaps that a couple of my students, I need them to let them know that they need to maybe retake that assessment. I can then click on the, looks like a little phone book to the right of 2, and I have some options of who I want to send this message to as the facilitator. I can send it to teachers in the course, students in the course, etc. I'm going to pick students. I could send it to all my students, but I'm just going to pick a couple of them that perhaps I know didn't do as well as I thought. Now, when I do this, I'm going to put a message in there. And I want Ryan and Doug to know that, you need to retake this test, maybe give them some strategies or tips of what they need to do in advance of the retake. But I don't want Ryan to know that Doug has to do this retake, and I don't want Doug to know Ryan got the same message. So even though I'm going to compose the same words in my message, I can click on the box to send individual messages, and they each will receive this individually without the others knowing who all got the message. So I may say, please review Chapter 5 notes and hand in new packet before retest on January 20th. Okay? Down at the bottom here, I could attach the packet, I could attach the notes, or I could even record an audio or video comment to go along with my message and to remind them of the different things that they need to look over. And then, of course, I could send that message. Within the inbox, remember this is in the world of Canvas. However, if a student sent me as a facilitator or teacher sent me a message from their Canvas account, I would could receive that message through my Gmail work account. And I could respond back to that message that was composed in Canvas using my Gmail through my phone, computer, or another device. However, I cannot start a brand new message from my Gmail and expect it to show up in Canvas. I can just respond to messages from Canvas through my work phone. So the inbox is a great way to stay in communication, to send out messages to people and students within your course. On the left-hand side again, the next tab is Commons. In another video within this Canvas ones that we're sending out, there will be a further explanation just on Commons. I just want to mention it briefly right now. Commons reminds me of the Smart Exchange. If you've used our Smart Exchange before, you know that you can download and find examples of lessons and other resources. Well, notice in the Commons, this is for Canvas, you can find and search for other courses, modules, quizzes, and all the other different options there that you see. And you can even filter them down by who they've been shared with, what type, and what grade level. So it's a great way to share different resources and content that each teacher has created within Canvas. So there will be more explanation. Be sure to watch the video on Commons. Let's look now at the link on the left-hand side in the blue called Account. This is important because you want to set up your profile, so we're going to go there first. In the profile, the main thing that you want to start with is if you want to add a picture or another type of avatar, then the rest of everything pretty much stays the same. Also, under the web, another option in your profile is to register services. A couple of ones that you probably want to register are Google Drive and Twitter. Those will appear on your right-hand side under Other Services, and when you click on them, you'll be prompted to log into your accounts and then simply add them. Once they are added, and Canvas will then be able to talk and work collaboratively with these other tools and services. So for example, with Google Drive, if you have that registered with Canvas, then you and your students will be able to collaborate and share documents back and forth from Drive into Canvas. The other thing we want to look at is over on the right-hand side, the ways to contact. Okay, so we're under our profiles and our settings. Notice that email is your work email and it's already set up for you, but you're also welcome to add another type of email address. Other ways to contacts. This is where you can add your cell phone number, and once again that would be private, but it will be helpful in notifications, as we'll see in a moment. You can add Twitter. Here we've added our Twitter account. Or you can add another type of contact method just by clicking on the plus button. When you click on the plus button, then you can add, for example, here I can add another email or text and put in my cell number and register that with Canvas. So under our profile and settings, we want to maybe upload a picture, or for our avatar, we want to register services, especially the Google Drive. And we want to perhaps think about adding another way to contact notifications through Canvas, such as our cell phone, another email, or Twitter account. Let's look at notifications. So we're under Accounts, and now we're going to click on Notifications. There's lots of different ways that Canvas can notify you, and look at all the different activities that are included in Canvas that if you wished as a teacher, you could be notified about. So for example, let's say that I had checked right now under my email that anytime one of my students in a course submits something, I want to know about it ASAP. But now I'm beginning to think maybe I don't want to know about those submissions ASAP, because that means my cell phone and or my email or my Twitter may really get lots and lots of messages and blow it up. So I'm going to take that off. However, I may want to know about the late grading or people who have turned in things late. So let's say, for example, I want to know who those folks are about turning in their work late and that are having to get grades a little bit past the due date. So that would be something maybe I want to know right away. Or maybe I just want to know it daily, or maybe I just want to know it weekly. That way I can kind of keep an eye and monitor more closely those folks who are turning in things late. I may want to know about announcements in my course. Anything that comes through announcements, I may want to know that once again, either ASAP, daily, or weekly. As students, remember when we had a minute ago on that calendar and that due date changed for that project from that Friday the 8th to the next week. If the student has due date and has that notification turned on through their cell phone number or their email address, then immediately they're going to receive a text and or an email that will allow them to look and immediately see, hey, this project changed dates. So as you go through each of the different types of notifications, think about what's important to you to know about immediately, or what things I may want to know about either on a weekly or daily basis. And you can set those up. Your students can also set up under their accounts and profiles their different types of notifications. The last button on the blue is the Help button. I'm just going to pop up what the help different choices are, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because one of our other Canvas videos that you can watch is about help. This is one of our most important tools, is how to find out help, and Canvas has a great support system already in place. So check out the other video on the help. So we've looked at dashboard, courses, groups, and all the different calendar, inbox, commons, account, and the help on the left-hand side. We're now going to go back to our dashboard, and we're going to look inside one of the courses at just some of the navigation features. So you can pick any of the courses. I'm just going to pick one, for example, Elementary Sample Course, and click on it. And when I click on it, I'm immediately taken to the home page. Your home page is kind of your launching page. It's the place where you as a facilitator can include something related to your class. We suggest, for example, things like meet the teacher. Tell us a little bit about you as a facilitator. Course descriptions. This is where we've already had things put together to list and take links back to CPOMs. Class information. This is where you can create content related to your policies, procedure, and any other type of classroom information. On the home page, you might also want to consider this is where you're going to put links to where your different assignments, maybe for homework or different directions may go, so that they're there at a glance for students and or perhaps later for parents to see. So the home page is important because that's where everything's going to start. In one of our later videos, you'll see how to create the content, these pictures, these different buttons that are on these pages can be created. The one link on the left that we're going to look at now are settings. And remember, this video is just a basic overview to help get you started and familiar with Canvas. So when we click on settings, the first tab that pops up will be course details. And there's really not a whole lot here other than just for you to see that where all the courses are. You don't really need to change anything. Because all your courses have already been created for you. The only thing you do need to check, though, is right on the right-hand side. Is this course published or not? So if I click on the little green here, then the course will be unpublished. And if I click on it again, it'll become green back. And notice the message popped up that I can't unpublish because they're student grade submissions. So you'd want to make sure you publish the course before the students could work in it. If that piece right here is not green, then students will not be able to see anything that you've created in the course. So publishing your activities and your course is a must before students can see and begin working in the courses. The next tab is sections. Here's where it will list all the different sections associated with that course. If you click on one of the sections, over to the right you have what's called cross-listing this section. If you are a teacher who teaches multiple sections of the exact same course, we will be glad to help you cross-list this section. So you're not having to add content to each individual section, but that will go to all of them at once. If you think about this and this is something you'd like to do, once again, email tosa@bay.k12.fl.us. So we went to the first tab, which was the course details. Then we went to sections. The third tab across settings is navigation. Now, remember, we see on the left-hand side as a teacher all the different features, but we don't necessarily want our students to see that. So for example, maybe all I want my students to see are just a few. Maybe I want them to see assignments. So I'm going to drag that one back up. Maybe. There we go. Home, quizzes, assignments, and modules. Maybe that's the only thing I want them to see. So things that I want hidden, I drag to the bottom. Things that I want to be viewable to students, I drag to the top. Once I've made my selections for the navigation, then I click Save. Now I want to check that out, make sure, yeah, did I do it correctly? If you go to the right and click on Student View, it will immediately pop you into the student view where you can look and notice on the left hand side the students will only see home, quizzes, assignments, and modules as their link. So the student view gives you as a facilitator an option of looking at what are the students going to be viewing in my course to make sure everything looks the way I anticipated. Remember, you can't edit while in student view, so we need to leave it by going down to the bottom right and clicking on the tab there. And now we're back to our editing. So the navigation tab under settings allows us to choose what links are available for our students. The last tab we want to look at in this particular video is called Apps. When you add apps, that means there are certain tools that you will need to help you with creating content. Remember, in our other videos, creation of content, pages, and modules will be explained in more detail. These apps that we can add will help us do that. So I could click here because I'm not sure which tools I might need, and maybe I need some more information. So when you click on the link, See Some LTI Tools, then there's all different kinds of ways to filter what maybe I'm looking for, grade levels, certain categories, and notice that some of them have a key attached. That might mean it costs money, or it may just mean that in order to use that tool, I have to sign up for a free account first. So it gives you some information, and when you click on them, it gives you even more details about it. So this is just a quick and easy way to look for different tools that I may want to add. However, there are certain ones we definitely want to add. For example, YouTube. So I can click in the title. Notice right now that that one is already installed. If it wasn't installed, then I would simply put it in the title in the search box, and then just click on it, and then it's automatically installed. So for example, let's find one. If I wanted to do CNN, let's see if they have a CNN, or perhaps a USA Today. And this one's already installed as well. Quizlet is another one that we recommend that we install. Another one is also Khan Academy. And notice these are installed. These different tools will appear on your rich content editor when you're creating pages and other content for each of your courses. Once again, the other video in our Canvas series will explain where these apps will appear and how to use them in your creation. The right-hand sidebar and links, there's just a few I want to mention. The Share to Commons button is a one that you'll want to begin to use as you have things that you want to share. We also have another video that will explain how to share to Commons, as well as importing content into this course, perhaps from Commons. Those will be two main links that will be very helpful in getting started using Canvas. So in this video, we have learned how to access Canvas, how to navigate, or at least an overview of the different navigation and features on the left sidebar as well as inside a particular course. Be sure to look at the other videos of this Canvas series that will explain in more details other topics such as creating pages, modules, and commons.